Captain's Log Supplemental.
Hey Jeremy, you know those race cars you're busy building?
Yeah, I do.
You,
I
you,
got one
you
that I'm looking at every day.
you know what I don't see you working on?
You don't see me working on the amazing Sentinel system yet.
That's true. It would take all of 10 minutes for you to have one.
And it's very quick and easy to install.
It is. It is. And we could watch you when we are not at the race with you and see how you're doing. And then we can call you up when you get out of the car and tell you everything you did wrong.
And I love that because so many years I've been driving and not been able to see what I'm doing.
I know.
And now we can.
I know. You know what I'd like to do with the video? My most favorite thing is I take the video and I load it on YouTube and then I send it to my coach and say, look at 26 minutes and 17 seconds. Look at this one lap and tell me what I can do better. And every single time, you know what they say?
Everything.
Exactly. Precisely. So with the Sentinel system, you get instantaneous feedback plus useful feedback that unfortunately is accurate for my driving.
I think it's accurate for all of our driving.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's probably true. Yep. But you need to get one in your car, sir.
Yes, I do. And with the discount code that you're going to tell everybody, they can save 10% on this awesome system.
Yep. Trouble free. I haven't had an issue getting video every time we've gone out with the Sentinel. It's always worked. Can't say the same for some of the other systems we've tried. So I don't know. It's on the podcast notes down there. Don't do it while you're driving, though. We like to have our listeners live. It's good.
Who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe, comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. And their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher. And our Captain Marvel and head flight trainee, Jennifer Scripchuk. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. Miss Vicki, we have a guest.
We do.
Returning guest.
Absolutely.
Former podcaster, leader of GridLife, Adam Jabaay.
I'm one of the leaders of GridLife. We're not a former podcaster. We do 2 a week and 1 a month right now, roughly.
That math doesn't work. Just FYI, if you do 2 a week, 1 a month is not the result.
We used to do 2 a week.
Oh, used to do 2 a week. Okay.
But got to a certain point where it was like, especially like late last year. That was kind of where we slowed down a little bit. Where you ever just not want to talk about cars anymore?
I don't think I've gotten to the point where I don't mind talking about cars. I have not gotten in the. I have lost my gusto for driving the car.
Have you really? Interesting.
I have. I reached a plateau and I'm kind of stuck. And if I'm not getting better, the juice isn't there anymore. So it's like a whole lot of work for not a lot of squeeze.
It is a lot of work. We probably Abe and I both probably got really to like a more of a burnout phase where this is like we just hosted our 25th West Michigan Honda meet 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And that's our original track event. So like that's a lot of years of hosting racing events. And then we're in the 11th season of GridLife. We're in the 7th season of Touring Cup. Nick Barbado just texted me, by the way. So
tell him hi. We're
sure he's
having him on right after
cool.
the Lime Rock.
It's like a lot of years of turning your hobby into like an accidental job, and then the podcast becomes this like accidental other job.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We're just kind of we're in a place. Every time we start podcasting, we end up talking about
RVs.
Well, not RVs so much anymore. I'm the only RV now.
Okay.
He does want to buy a new RV. He wants to buy another thing, like small one he can tow behind his wife's Honda Odyssey. But now Abe's into cycling. And I've gotten into like I've been trying to like transition more into like a healthy lifestyle a little bit, like workouts every day, eating less sugar.
Hmm.
But like, I'm stuck in this like continuous work loop where all I do is work constantly. Between both jobs, I'm basically working during the race season. It's like 7 days a week, waking to sleeping. And you
Hmm.
just don't want to talk about cars that much anymore. But I'm also kind of stoked about racing still. So
That's cool.
not complaining too much. We've had a pretty wild year. It's been a good year so far.
Yep. It seems like there's a whole bunch of, we'll go with the word stuff going on,
A lot of
uh,
stuff.
on
Uh,
and off the track.
we've
So
we've
go ahead.
hosted some events. We're over halfway done. We got two of our biggest ones out of the way. Midwest Festival, Road America. CMP was like one of our other biggest ones, but that was first of the year. We didn't do Coda this year because it didn't work out to co-host with Super Lap Battle because it was
Hmm.
they got moved to the same weekend as our Carolina event, which was in its third year. I think we're in our
It's
third,
at least three. Yeah.
and that event has kind of like matured into like we filled it out. We can't really put more people there. So like, what's next steps with that one? Which is great. It's a great place to be.
Hmm.
Super cool. To work with great little club track. I
It
assume
is.
you. I
Yes, we've
assume you.
been there.
Pretty safe. Kind of fast and fun. Doesn't really get super boring, but one of those Alan Wilson deadly left-handers right after the start for a sprint race. But other than that, it's a pretty fun track to drive.
That and the kink, right?
Kink is so fast too, so
It
fast.
is.
Uh, I have crashed in the kink.
Hmm.
I lifted and I spun and I hit the tire wall of the worker station way off to the left. This was in 2011, 2010. I don't remember, but yeah, fun track. But that was a great event. We co-hosted with Formula Drift at Road Atlanta, which was super cool. Just a Friday Saturday event.
Did you think you were going back to Road Atlanta?
No, I never thought I'd go back there. I'm sure some of your listeners were at some of the events or knew about it, but we did 4 years of festivals at Road Atlanta, and like everybody that worked there when we did events isn't there anymore. But we kind of broke up with them because they were hard to deal with, and like they called the cops on us at the end of the 2018 event, and like put like literally like walked the paddock and like tried to put the drivers to bed at like 11:45. It was real insane. It was super wild, but
Vicky,
um,
you're muted. You can
nope,
say all you want without hitting the mute button. It's fine.
I think Vicky's muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were chasing people off to go to bed?
Yeah, it was wild. So some context. We had some in 2018. This is like at least this is the story we were told from like other parties is there was somewhere off in campground at like probably 2 a.m. Somebody had, the Toyota Supra with the anti-lag, and you know what anti-lag and like a Toyota Supra sounds like machine guns.
Hmm.
And machine guns, when there's like houses 600 feet away, they're gonna call the cops. And the word got, I think somebody that knew the governor at the time, like lived near the racetrack and called their friend the governor. This is what I've heard. Like
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
called their friend the governor, and then the governor knew the head of security or the Georgia State Police or something, and said, "Whatever's going on at Road Atlanta, don't let that happen next year." And so I think it was
Or
said it was wild, but
or what?
I don't I don't know. It really wasn't even Saturday night. It was a great concert. We ended at like I think we ended at 11, and
It's a festival. It's
yeah,
gonna be loud.
it wasn't even that loud. And like the paddock was like pretty chill that night. But then the cops like showed up in force and like had this like it was like a flying V hockey wave of just like there was a car and then a bunch of cops with like billy clubs like walking the lanes in the paddock, yelling at drivers, "Go the F to sleep." And it was
What?
like not even midnight. If
I heard rumors
it was
because that was right when we were just starting to get into racing when this all went down. I heard that the festival may have been chill, but after this one, Mr. Adam Jabaay was not chill.
I was so mad.
Real way.
I mean, like, I'm the motorsports side of the event, but this year I had the PA also. So I was like calling drivers to grid and stuff on Sunday. And at the end of the day, I broke up with the racetrack on the PA.
No
Wow.
way.
I
Oh
That's
crap.
fantastic.
forget what I
That
said.
that really is pretty great.
And I hadn't even talked to Chris about it. Probably should have done that in hindsight, but also he was feeling the same way. But it was like this for us, it felt like this is like that was our 5th year. And it felt like a real big slap in the face and all this investment we put in this event. The event, it was always super expensive for us. And it like maybe broke even in 2019. And we're just like this fledgling group of idiots. 2019 was 1,000 years ago too. We're comparatively like really disorganized. We were kind of like naive and but it was really upsetting. But then generally like we heard like gradually we heard through the grapevine that like all the people that like had grown to dislike us at this event, even though they invited us to host the event, had like moved on to other jobs, whatever. So we're also friends with Formula Drift, and Formula Drift, the current president and one of the co-founders, Ryan Sage and Chris, have been like buddies for a long time. Started out casual, like, hey, we do a thing in the drift world too. Nice to meet you, and like, became very friendly and. We always try to collaborate on schedules because a lot of Formula Drift drivers use some of our bigger events as part of their sponsor pitch, and their sponsor pitches for the season like get them to the FD event. So like it behooves both of us to like collaborate on schedules. And it just kind of worked out slowly that like, we should like it would be really cool if we brought some wheel to wheel, like talking like GridLife Touring Cup and the Rush series, brought that to the Road Atlanta event, and then Super Lap Battle, the guys at Super Lap Battle and Global Time Attack would
You're right.
was the time attack. So we were talking with GTA and FD and like just about like just ideas. And then GTA pulled out to focus more on West Coast and their Austin, Texas event at Coda, and said, "Do you guys got a blessing? Let's do it. Do whatever you got to do." So it ended up being like GridLife from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or 2:20 or whatever. Half-hour break. They set up the FD like stanchion on the back straight, and then they do FD. It was a really fun event. It rained on Saturday a bit, but the crowd was awesome. The paddock was open to the FD crowd, and we had a lot. We had so many spectators walk up and just talk to us about the festivals from like 2016, 2019. So I think we have a big shared audience, and it was fun to see people that I really haven't seen in 4 or 5 years. So, great event. So, and now I'm rambling, but that happens.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
fine.
no.
It's fine. So,
The track was great to work with. FD was great to work with. And, yeah.
so how do you do a drift event in the rain?
Right?
You're just like in the dry. There's just less smoke, which
Okay.
is sometimes a good thing.
Well, they
Especially
do water the track anyway, normally, don't they? So I guess the rain would be fine.
they have water boxes usually for warming up tires also in some spots, and cooling off tires specifically actually, but they don't typically like wet it down, but you just have a lot less smoke, and it's a little bit slower, but not much slower, but it's a little bit slower. So
Okay. I was just, with my vast drifting per hours, I had not contemplated this until you mentioned it with Road Atlanta. So
it would be a benefit almost to the Lime Rock event if it would only rain during the drift sessions, because the neighbors at Lime
yeah,
Rock hate the smoke so
yeah,
much.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we can have a whole podcast on people who move in next to a racetrack and then say it's noisy. But anyway,
Yeah. So where of all the grid lives that you do, right? Grid life. So what is the biggest one that you do? In what state?
So the biggest historically has been our original event, which is at Gingerman Raceway. We started that event in 2014. We just had that early June, and it was a great year. We moved the stage out to Spectator Hill. Have you guys been to Gingerman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Spectator
Few
Hill's
times.
up by turn 3, 4, 5, that complex out there.
Yes.
And we moved the stage out there, shifted the stage to kick towards turn 2, and that mitigated some sound issues with some neighbors, which was awesome. And it also created this like city on a hill view from the paddock.
Mhm.
Nice.
Previously we had like the stage and all the lights and everything back behind turn 2 by the garages there, facing like towards the north. And so from the paddock, you couldn't even see the stage. And from the racetrack, you really couldn't see the stage either. But it was a bit of a walk for the paddock, for the drivers and stuff to get to the stage. But it was like the biggest festival crowd at the concert we've ever had. But actually, the most people we've ever had on site in one day at a GridLife was at Road America 2 weeks ago. So, which is just
Mm.
That
second.
place is a monster.
It's so big. Last year was our first year hosting a festival there. We hosted a bunch of other like club rounds, and we hosted the championship there in 2019, I think, but kind of a smaller round. But yeah, the most people we've had on site at a single GridLife was that Saturday. And that was like a 20,000 person, 19,000 person event, but Gingerman had more cumulative in the weekend, but more Saturday. So
yeah, we're our daughter's going away. We were talking before the podcast started recording. Our daughter's going away to college this year, so we have tried to get to festivals. We will succeed next year.
we'd love to. You just say the word, and I'll get you all the right bands that you need.
We will bother you. The Lime Rock is looking right at the weekend we're moving her in, so it's still TBD. But luckily, we actually have to drive past Lime Rock to get to where she's going to school, so it may be maybe
on the way back through.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll meet you at the gate. That's leaving on I'm leaving Wednesday morning or Tuesday night for that, so that's next weekend. Yeah.
Oh, it's next weekend. Oh, well, we're good.
That's
I thought it was the weekend after. All right. Well, we have promises to come to Lime Rock every year, and we will do so. Even one time we made it, I think we made it for like 15 minutes of track time, but that's okay.
Hang on, let me double check. Yes, it's next weekend.
No worries. Well, this is coming out the Monday before Lime Rock. So with all of the stuff you've had, you started with Honda Meet. I believe you started with Honda Meet. Then you transposed into what the monster that has become GridLife. With that, the initial goal was to make the track event that you and your friends would like. But on top of that, you've grown so big, it's kind of tough to balance those two out and be commercially viable. You don't want to live in the red all the time. So how is that balance coming for GridLife as it grows?
So everybody, like, it seems like every racetrack that we go to, like the first couple of years, they're like, "Oh, these dudes must make so much money," and
they don't remember that these dudes spend so much money.
It's so. I mean, even not to like spout numbers or anything, but like at the Road America, it was the biggest event we've had day, like single day. We spent 1.1x million dollars to build that event.
Mm-hmm.
We brought in 1.1x slightly less $1 million. We didn't even break even on our biggest event. But it was close, really close. And that was with like merchandise and all that stuff. The spectators love buying t-shirts. We've got a really good crew of people that design apparel and stuff like that, and that's always changing. And that got us close. But historically, we've tried festivals at a bunch of different places. And historically, at the places that we have done more than 3, it doesn't break even until the 3rd year, which is really hard. Like, it's a stupid business. It's like not a great business.
No,
but it's also like realistically, it's probably kind of important to bring a bunch of car curious people to a road course, because otherwise they might never see it. They might only see parking lot drifting or circle track drifting. They might never see like the grandeur of Road America or this, like the beauty of Lime Rock. Like Lime Rock is like the prettiest place racetrack wise that I've ever been, or like some of these really cool other tracks, even like Autobahn Country Club is like, it's kind of a great place to like walk around 2/3 of it and just watch from people's yards and stuff. Like they won't go to these things because there's typically not like a car show near there. They don't have a reason to go.
People like them can't do this stuff. It's not for humans. It's for,
the perceived barrier to entry that I felt in, what year would that have been? Like even just to get into wheel-to-wheel racing, I felt this crazy perceived barrier to entry in like 08, 09. And it was like hard to figure out how to go SCCA club racing. So like we just started lemon stuff. And then it turned out like the more people I met, the more people like knew the way to get a license. And like a lot of it is about breaking down barriers of just like that. We all like everybody that's car curious kind of has the same disease, but a different symptom. And you just got to show them a road course. And then a road course is like suddenly the coolest thing or one of the coolest things they've ever seen because like it is. That's the
Yeah.
reason that do it their entire lives. It doesn't suck, you know.
No, definitely doesn't. It's the one thing that I always try to tell people is A, they can do it no matter what they have and what their background is, they can do it. And B, it's of the sports that I've done, it's by far the least clicky in terms of keeping people away. Because if anything, we'll like throw a rope around you and drag you to the track to see, you know?
Especially the clickiness. I mean, there's definitely some clickiness in.
Sure.
It's like a natural thing. I see it now more and more as like our series evolves.
Mhm.
And we're always trying to like break that. Like, and I think the drivers, the more you talk about it, like you got to welcome. I talk about the drivers meeting, like, hey, who's new here? Like, put your hands up. And then we pause for a second, typically, and like I make everybody talk to that person. Like, oh, so now you know the black BRZ with the white wheels. Like, so you know that driver, or at least you have seen them and you can approach them if you're paddock next to them. And like, you kind of do have to break down these. You see a lot of like patterns in human nature
Mhm.
in racing. It's like this. It's sort of like sports also, and like anything that people do. Like, we kind of do it the same way that people have done it probably for a million years. And but the more you see patterns, the more you can like break those and fix those.
Right.
And but it's like an active process. Like you never have to stop creating the us versus them mentality in a paddock. Like it will create like it might not exist for the first few events, but it turns into like clicks and all that stuff too. But naturally, like a racetrack is pretty unclicky because it's not like the same team,
Yep.
us versus them, us versus them, us versus them. But it will become that like in
Mhm.
my experience, like the regulars, they don't mesh well with the one event, two event people naturally. You do have to kind of bust them into the circle, like break down that.
So we did talk to Hayward, right? It's
Yes.
Hayward over
Yeah.
at SCCA about the perceived barrier to get into SCCA, and they are aware of it. They know it, and they've been trying to simplify it, right? They've been trying to
Yes.
simplify some of the programs. I think now they're doing solos, which they probably did before, but I think they were trying to introduce like newer ones because they're realizing that I don't know if they're plateauing a little bit, but they do know that there's that barrier. And the other thing that I did notice while you were speaking to this too is that I think groups have a tendency to be less clicky in racing if they're part of a team and not an individual racer, because individual racer groups have a tendency to come together and do that.
Yeah, they create their own like faction where it's like, oh, it's the this group and that group, and they always pit together, and it's
Mhm.
the vet guys versus the S2000 guys, or the WRX and STI.
Mhm. Versus Honda guys and
Definitely Honda guys. Those guys are terrible.
And now we got the super people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and worked on my comp
Oh, yeah.
license at SCCA, and they referred to the Miatas as bees
Yeah,
when they're on the track.
the super people. I'm not talking about the super people. I got some feelings right now. Known to be the buzzing Miatas and Hondas. Yeah, Hayward's become like a pretty good buddy over the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years, and he actually announced the Track Night in America on our podcast years
Nice.
That was a while ago.
back when
Yeah.
our podcast mattered. Maybe I don't think it mattered.
That was pre Tom's Red Fit with the track maps on it.
Long time ago. That would have been, I don't know, 2016, maybe 17.
It was
Long
before
time.
we started. So it had to be 16, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, like it. There's so much of like even like talk about sanctioning bodies. We like never saw ourselves being a sanctioning body at first, and then like suddenly we're like, I guess we're that, because we're hosting all over the country and people are following us, and like we're this touring animal, I guess, and we got a lot of like us versus them mentality from like some other sanctioning body people too. Like there were some people in SCCA that were like, "What's these idiots?" and at NASA and like, uh, but we always try to break that down and like there's so much there's it's the everybody's got the same disease but a different symptom. It's
Yep.
really it just keeps coming down to like the similarities that like the Venn diagram of like what we have in common versus what we don't is like it's mostly what we have in common, you know.
Right.
So yeah, you can be friends with anybody with a racetrack if you ask them three questions and they want to talk. So
Mm-hmm. What's your car? What's in there? Yeah.
what kind of wheels are those?
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
that?
Who's your brother? Yeah. Any
Yeah.
three questions and you got a buddy. So
Mm-hmm. What brake pad do you think? Oh wait, no, that's going to start an argument. Sorry.
that's those are the things we argue about.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So, so if you were to time travel back and tell Adam and your buds who you started this with, obviously back then you probably wouldn't believe where you're at right now, but what would you say? Hey, look out for this, or hey, don't do that. Is there anything that you're sitting there? I mean, there's probably a list of, not by.
I don't know if you want me to answer that. Actually, I think I'd probably tell myself to just focus on my construction business.
Run fast, run fast.
Don't do this. Just host on to me. It's going to be the best if you just keep doing that.
Yeah, don't leave Gingerman. It might not be a bad plan. Well,
Stay home. Don't do any of this craziness.
Yeah.
The I look back at like the last decade, and I think this was I mean it was a ton of work. I met a lot of my best friends.
Mhm.
Worked with a lot of amazing people. I still work with a lot of amazing people, but like some of the people that have came and gone in the company have been, like you learn so much from all these people, and like I have so many friends and I have so many people to thank, but also like I'm gonna be very like even if it stopped tomorrow, if we are like, well, that's enough good life for that. Let's be done with this now. I would probably like, I don't regret any of it. Like it's been a wild ride. I feel like we haven't contributed negatively to the sport. Like I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the black eye on the
Mhm.
sport. But also like yeah, I'm proud of what me and my friends have built, and it's been a good time. I don't know if I want to do it forever. At least right now. I'm in a stressful week. So you're asking me this at the wrong time.
This
Oh,
is
you
true.
poor guy.
A week before Lime Rock. It's fine. Can't
I
go
just
wrong.
typed up a 5-page summary of the longest, craziest post-race investigation we've ever had. I just finished typing it up, and like after dinner, this is like an hour ago, and after dinner, my wife is like, "Are you nervous about this podcast or something?" I'm like, "No, not at all." And she's like, "You
Like,
angry?" I'm like, I am angry. I just typed up a thing that made me angry." So, and we do take it very seriously, and like but the core of it is like let's do cool stuff with our friends and also let's especially now that's become this like stupid high level competition, which it is. Like it's actually serious. People are throwing their entire lives into it. Not even talking money or whatever. Like prep shops are built on some of these series now. And
yep.
you got concepts and ASM and like there's like 4 rush prep shops that all they do is follow us around now. It's crazy. A bunch of drifters that like have built their entire like living off of just going to 5 GridLife events because their sponsors want that million hit video or whatever,
Yep.
But so people take it seriously. So we have to do a good job safety wise, but also like in the officiating and the stewardship of wheel to wheel and time attack. And now we're seeing this like 2025 angst. It seems like in some drivers who like they've almost like broken their own mental like game and they're not having that much fun anymore because it's too serious. So they're trying to like find that balance of like doing it correctly, doing it legitimately and honestly on the officiating side, and then also like trying to keep it fun for some of the drivers who like naturally will take it too far and burn themselves out, and it becomes a job. You get too serious, and it does actually become a job because you're beholden to sponsors who are paying for it. You're beholden to like, the time that you've stolen from the rest of your life. You feel like you owe that effort the most the best outcome as a driver. And like you do see drivers like run themselves into the ground, which is kind of a shame. But we're like rambling a minute ago about, like, it just feels like human nature, and some of these personalities, like, they're bad MFers on a racetrack, but like it's hard to be a race car driver. Like it is hard to be a high level race car driver.
Especially when you're prepping your car and designing your car and fixing your car and engineering your car and and transporting your car. And
It's time. It's time.
I see some of these drivers. You watch some of the social followings of, like, say, like an Eric Catil or a bunch of our time attack drivers, and you're like, how much time do you put into these cars? And it turns out it's all of the time.
all the time. Yeah.
All
All of it.
Jackie Dings built an entire business and like a life out of he's like, the first time he pulled into a GridLife paddock, he had tires strapped to the convertible soft top roof of his S2000. He like skipped college classes to be there or something.
Hmm.
And now, like, look what he turned into. Like, he turned it into he's like the super guy in the world now.
Yep.
It's but I also like when we're in these like couple of like these weird tough decisions that you're making based on what do the rules say versus what's the intent and that kind of stuff. Like, you got to do it correctly, and some of that is it keeps you awake at night, and there is no winner in some of these choices either when you're talking like right on the fine line of the gray area of a rule. That's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. We're dealing with like national championship contenders, like, and this is like what they do, and it can get real hot and real loud real fast. So it's not all concerts and drift parties. So,
No, I mean, to go back a little bit, we asked Eric Catil on the podcast a few times.
Yeah.
Before we even knew he was the driver that he is, just because of his content that he puts on his channel,
yeah.
was helping us figure out how we should do something or how we should have done something, or you dummy, you should fix this. And I didn't even realize he was anywhere near the driver that he is. And then I found out and I was like, oh, that could be why he's so busy.
Yeah. One of the most incredible talents I've ever met, actually, for
Yeah.
sure. Funny story about Eric. In what was it? It was probably 2015. He messaged me on one of the forums, and he was like, "Hey, I like your CRX, man. Got any advice? I'm gonna buy a road race car." And he was an autocrosser and like just getting done with college, or maybe he was just done with college. He had just got a job at Honda. I think that job he still has. And I was like, "Hey, I'll form a group chat with like me and some of my buddies." And it was my buddy Christian from Florida, my buddy Mike Taylor from Georgia, and my dude Brad Adams from Indianapolis, who he and I had done a bunch of DE together. Mike Taylor is kind of a Lemons legend with the Hung North guys and Christian was just kind of like he lives a life 5 years. He lives my life 5 years ahead of me. Like, I got to know him because like him and his wife had twins via IVF or triplets via IVF, and like my wife and I were going through that stuff. So like I was like, "Hey, do you got any advice?" This sucks. That's how he and I became friends, and yeah, we have a daughter now, so it worked. But yeah, so we're all kind of into Hondas. You know, we had similar interests and stuff. So we had this like we still have this long-standing group chat. Like it's been going for 10 years. And that became, just some buddies, and like GridLife was a thing already when it started, but barely. We'd hosted like 3 events. They started coming and helping, and like that became the original like rules idea committee for GridLife Touring Cup. But we also, at the time, we saw Eric go from, he bought this ITA Civic that was built in California that was like pretty nice car. And he raced it in ITA a few times, and then he like swapped an engine into it, and he was racing an STL, and then he almost won the runoffs twice, maybe. He was working for the Honda American Racing Team. He became a crew chief. He was at the 24 Hours Daytona as a crew chief for the NSX, and then for the TCR car for the race before it. And like he's lived he's lived 15 lives in 10 years, but he's also like he's a hammer behind the wheel. Like it's unreal to watch him. I've never seen anybody so dialed in as him at CMP this year. Like he was on it. But been a fun but a fun dude to know, and been a buddy of, and really impressive driver. A lot of really impressive drivers in the touring car. He's not the only one. There's like 25 hammers, and they're
Yeah,
all
easily.
they're like all big hammers, and like I feel like the rules are these like little tiny brad nails, and I'm just afraid that if they're gonna hit them too hard.
Yeah. I think that was on my list to eventually, compete in GLTC and finish in the middle, and then the middle just went ridiculous, and I'm like, okay, not doing that.
I'm the middle backpack right now. I'm not really trying hard in my car. I race twice a year, once a year, whatever. But it's really fun to race even in the back. And like
Sure.
last year at Autobahn, I like didn't raise the boost up because I had more fun running with like half a dozen rookies. And
Mhm.
like
Oh,
really good. There was like 4 people in their first or second race weekend, and Renee, our race director, was like, "Just see, let me know how the back of the pack is." And I'm like, "All right, I am not turning the boost up. This is really fun." Had some of the best racing of my life with like the middle and back of the pack of Touring Cup. So there's still
really?
always somebody to race. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's
So,
fun to be anywhere as long as everybody else has got the idea of like, hey, we're here for fun. Let's not crash into our friends. Once in a while, they crash into their friends.
mhm.
Unfortunately.
So it wouldn't be our podcast if we didn't say, you've gone from axe murderers to flat out aliens in GLTC,
Mm-hmm.
and then you decided, hey, these freaks of nature aren't fast enough. Let's go faster.
We're working on that. We're
I
working
know
on
you did.
uh,
I was going the other way, Adam. I was going, let's do Sunday Cup wheel to wheel, but you went
almost,
MOA.
I almost went that way too, and we might go that way later. I don't know.
You're running out of weekend though, sir. You're going to be racing the entire week.
We'll see where it goes.
Okay.
So we talked about both. We talked about going slower with wheel to wheel and going faster, and we did the math on, hey, how many B specs level cars are out there in the world, and how many GT4 level and TCR level cars are out there in the world, and they're kind of the same. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot. Um, and uh, and then the decision was made based on like, all right, what are the cars that if this does succeed, like what are the ones that are going to sound cooler, look cooler, and like
Well, I mean, that's not fair.
But personally, I would love to throw a cage in my Honda Fit. That sounds.
I'm with you. I got rid of mine and gave it to a friend who would use it. But if you would have gone wheel to wheel Honda Fit, then I mean, I was in.
Steal it back. Maybe I'll steal it back. But,
I'll build another one. Don't worry.
we're in our third season with the Rush cars now. They started at Laguna in 23, so third. I mean, if you count that being a season, but that was one event. But those cars actually get so many spectator eyes on them because they sound like little Indy cars, and they all
Oh.
look. They sound so cool, like they're little tiny F1 cars because they're bike motor, 1,000 cc bike motor. In person, that was our biggest field at Road America too. We had 51 registered. I think we had 49 take the field.
Mhm.
Really? That's a lot for that particular type of car.
Well, it's like most of them. There's
Well,
like
that's only like 20 real size cars.
No, but I'm just saying, have them all in one spot. That's amazing because I only see them spotted through
I'm like 10 foot.
series.
They do fit in a few other places, but it has definitely became being the national championship for the. I mean, it's our series, but the factory out of Texas is supporting the series also. Like
Mhm.
it being their national championship has brought some people to it, but like there's some crazy talent in the Rush field. Like a lot of like a lot of like 5 to 20 year carters, like people that have been karting for since they were 6. Like it's like a breeding ground for like there's so many people I've had conversations with, and they're like, oh yeah, I used to race with, and they just drop 5 IndyCar racers. Like, yeah, I grew up with what's his face, and like so it's like we found a home, like a almost like a semi-retirement home for like the open wheel and karting bad MFers with the Rush.
Mhm.
But it's been I've been the Rush race director all year this year. So I've kind of my brain has been a little bit more in that during the events. Obviously I'm like the chief of rules and creation for our series stuff too. But it's I do feel pulled in a lot of directions, but I've really had a good time getting to know a lot of the Rush drivers because there are some crusher drivers in Rush. especially like, especially up at the front 15. We're talking like the top 15, 20 drivers, like exceptional talents in any paddock, which is, it's kind of humbling that we have all these drivers that I think, oh, our drivers are better than yours. If I look at other series, I'm like, I can't look at it that way, but it is humbling that they all come here, because I do believe that our drivers are kind of the baddest paddock, and it's also, they're the hardest to manage because there's so many bad MFers. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been a wild ride.
So far be it from me not to send you an occasional text or two during the season saying, "Hey, why don't you do this?" or "Hey, why don't you do that?" I think the last time we were on, we were talking about different rule sets for GLTC depending on the track as a multiplier. I don't think that one went over so terribly well, but
I've actually been thinking about this. You texted me like a PAX modifier.
I know there's the one I was going to do. So I think that there should be a PAX
I just don't know.
multiplier for all the time attack. So you could actually win overall and maybe be Club TR or even Sunday Cup or Street Mod for Dewey. I know I gotta say Street Mod for Dewey or else I'm gonna get the loudest email ever.
Ah,
I do think that there are very few drivers hitting so close to the maximum potential of what Dewey's doing with 255s on that car. That's ridiculously fast for
It's
55.
craziness.
I don't know enough about autocross packs. I know there's like, can you explain to me how it works aside from what I've been told? Like, do you have a good idea?
I conceptually know. I do not know the math. It basically is for Vicki. What it does is it converts your performance in your car in your class to be equal to the performance of another class. So who actually performed best with what they had?
Yeah. So like say class A and class B runs like in time attack, say like one of them runs a 2 minute lap time and one runs a 2:10 lap time as the class records.
Mm-hmm.
Your percentage of closest to class record or breaking class record by X percentage
Mm-hmm.
would actually score the field. So like if you
Yep.
broke the 2 minute record by 2 seconds and somebody else broke the 2 minute 10 record by 1 second, you still both broke records, but the 2 minute record did a better job. So
Did it better. Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that would. The reason I'm saying is I want to like
Spreadsheet, but somebody employed by me, I'm sure, can figure
I know that's what I'm thinking. So I know the one thing I have with time attack is it's tough to watch and get into unless you know all the people, or it's tough to interpret because sometimes
you don't have contact.
yeah, it's just who crossed the lane first. I can tell that, but sometimes it's tough, especially if they're broken into two sections. Like if part of the group is in Group C and part of the group is in Group D, then I got to remember things, and I was told there'd be no math, and
So yeah, the more I think about it, I'm sure there's a way you could do this with a spreadsheet.
Yep, I think so.
It's probably actually not a bad idea. All right, I'm going to text people on Tuesday about that.
Yeah, see, every now and then.
I listen, Adam. He's full of it. I'm going to tell you.
I got ideas. I got ideas.
He does. He's got great ideas.
You ready? You ready for my stupid idea that I didn't tell you to text yet?
First, I think like the only reason I didn't go further down this road is you like texted me like on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, I know.
While I was wrapping up an event or like doing podium.
100%. And listen,
no pressure.
When the brainstorm hits, I got to get it out. So
He really does at all hours.
So here's my newest one for you, and you're gonna
Nick Barbados. Sorry.
You're gonna hate this one, but I think it's spectacular. So here it is, the national championship at pit race.
Yeah.
What you do is you take the top two drivers from each of the different divisions.
Time attack class.
I'm talking all of it.
Okay.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Everybody. And then we have flashbacks to the 1970s and 1980s.
Okay.
And we have I rock GridLife. Equally prepared cars. Everybody goes out, and who wins wins. And
James,
then you have the GridLife national champion. Period. Not
the overall winner.
the winner, the poobah.
James Houghton has pitched a similar idea to me of take the winners of all the classes,
Mm-hmm.
get yourself one Sunday Cup car.
Mm-hmm.
They all get 3 laps,
Mm-hmm.
and
And that's it.
the baddest MFer is crowned.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's crazy.
But I'm taking James's idea, but I'm going wheel to wheel.
Yeah. So you want me to you want me to personally own a fleet of wheel to wheel cars and transport them to one event?
No. I want to have a sponsor.
I need like Nestle on board or something.
So what I'm thinking is one of the loudest people you have in your paddock.
Yeah.
Knows people at Subaru, and I'm thinking a BRZ, 15 of them. Just
Yeah, just like
bring it to pit race.
like the celebrity race
At Long Beach.
Long Beach. Yeah.
This
Man,
isn't a 2025 thing. This is a reach
not.
goal.
it's definitely not a 2025. trying to get the bills paid right now.
I'm trying to give you something to strive for. You don't waste enough money on all your other events. I want more.
It's a good stretch goal. That's a good stretch.
I'm thinking it would be kind of fun.
Toyota must have spent so much money on this during the Long Beach. I bet I could do it for a 15th of what they spent.
Oh, not knowing you, 20th, maybe 5% is my goal.
Just gotta find a dude that makes custom cages. That's all. Actually, long ago, we the dude who makes cage not cage kits. It's
Roll
the
cage components?
no, the ones that are like scanned and drawn and like everything's perfect. All you gotta do is weld it in. Chair Slayer, what's his name? He's a paraplegic drift car driver, and he's got the company that makes like perfect cages, and all you have to do is weld them in. Yeah, he's a friend
Future podcast guest if we knew who he was.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I'll figure it out. It'll come.
That's fine. It's not like we don't text anyway.
Yeah, the cage industry is one that's actually changed a whole lot in the last 10 years. Previously, you had to know the best roll cage person, and then you had to like fight with them about the rules for your series, and then they were like, "Oh, but we do it this way," and they're like talking about this
Our way's better. Yeah.
them about what material, and they're like, they won't even know if it's seamed. It's got to be drawn over mandrel. That's stupid. It's too expensive. And then you have to fight with the roll cage guy who's any good. You got to spend $25,000 having like the shop du jour in the country do it.
Yep.
And now you can like mail order a perfect roll cage for a Miata or perfect roll cage for a BRZ. All you gotta do is have a welder and a little bit. So kind of cool to see like the industry changing so much like in the past 10 years since it's become sort of a job for me. It's changed so much. And PRI is the same thing. We go to PRI every year, and the Performance Racing Industry Show in Indy. And we've had a booth most of the years we've been around, and the booth gets bigger and we talk to more people. But like, I always try to walk the show because it's amazing how much innovation you see like every year. And it seems like the more and more the different what do you call them? The disciplines inside the sport, drag racing, circle track, blah, the more and more they like get visibility on each other, the better they all get. Like, now it's so much easier to like put a dry sump on your car or whatever, because like all these companies are making this bespoke bolt-on stuff that like isn't bespoke anymore, and like it's just getting easier to build cool stuff and more effective and even roll cages. It's a wild. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. It is Saturday night.
It's a podcast, dude. I mean,
not enough rambling. Anybody listening, because I'm on here, they've heard me ramble.
Between the two podcasts, I think we're getting close to 1,500 podcasts now.
Where are you guys at?
Like 720.
You definitely passed us. Like,
I
want to say we're at like 650 or something.
Yeah. I completed my lap. I've done them all from beginning to end on yours now. So
that's dumb.
It just means I drive too much, you know.
I wonder if Abe put up our last one. Now I'm curious. We recorded one at Road America with Austin. Did he put it up?
Not yet.
I told him the other day to put it up too.
It's okay.
It's a really good one. It was a fun one too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Austin, who I started the podcast with in 2015.
Yeah. We started a little after and caught up.
My phone says no internet connection available. It also says 5G ultra wideband.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fun. It doesn't look like you put it up, but apologies. We recorded that 2 weeks ago. Abe, come on, Abe.
No worries. It comes to our attention that one of our favorites, because it's, right now it's the only one in the Northeast for you, is coming up. Lime Rock.
Yeah. I'm stoked about Lime Rock actually. What a great track. What a great facility to work with too. Like the people are so cool. There's the first year I'm texting Abe right now. Hang on one second. Austin Podcast PLZ. Yeah, the first year that we were there, I think the track was pretty nervous. So our current, like our CEO now was working. He's been a buddy of ours forever, but Chris and I are bad at business. So we had a CEO. He also became our partnership sales because our partnership sales guy was disconnected from racing. So like, yeah, we hired a person to fix a lot of our problems. But he was the guy that introduced us to Lime Rock because FCP Euro, he was their marketing manager or something, but he was an early sales or an early employee at FCP Euro, a huge Euro parts company, and saw that company grow from like, I don't know, 5-10 million up to like 200 million while he was there with them. So a lot of industry knowledge, knows a lot of people, super smart dude. Became a really good friend of ours over the many years we worked with them. We still work with them. They're still a partner of ours. But he introed us in what year would that have been? 2021? I don't know. And then our first one was 2022, 2023. So 2022 was our first one there, probably.
22, yeah.
So we drive over there. So Chris and I flew to Newark. I met a dude that I only knew on the Road Race Autocross forum, the forum that shall not be named in many people's eyes. And I bought my Honda Fit, which I still have, at the airport, and we brought him home, and I paid him cash. And I was like, this is a great rust-free Honda Fit that is 5 shades of red. Because at the time it was post-COVID and rental cars were like, I want to say rental cars were like $400 a day.
Yeah, it was crazy. They got rid of them all.
Yeah, it was insane because they sold them all or something. I don't know.
They sold them all.
The rental cars were like $400 a day out of Newark. And I was like, I'm just going to buy this Fit for $2,900. So Chris and I drove back, but we're driving around in this claptrap Fit, like not a great car, but runs great. 130,000 miles, still have it. 160,000 miles now. Just put brand new Fortune 510s on it. Brand new.
Ooh.
But had them custom valve for Chicago roads. So they're super digressive and softer spring rate.
That's a good plan.
It's so nice. But we meet up with Michael. We go to Lime Rock, and we see this place, and it's raining, kind of dreary, and neither one of us have ever been there. And we were just like blown away with like the gorgeousness of it because the Appalachians right there. There's rivers on both sides, at the 2 big straights, and like it's just pretty. It's like
it's the hill. You can sit anywhere on that hill and get a good view of everything.
Oh, cool! Like we're stomping around in the rain, and like, oh my gosh, this might be the place. And then we sit down for a meeting, and then like this older guy walks in like last, and it's Skip Barber, and he sits down next to us, and then he proceeds to tell me how GLTC, he's been yelling at SCCA forever to do shorter sprint races with a single class so people know what the heck is going on the racetrack. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Skip Barber knows what my race series is. So that was
wow.
weird. And we had a great meeting with them. We flew back out in April before the event, had another great meeting with them. And they were nervous. And we were nervous too. And like the week before the event, we're like, we're going to get killed. There's nobody showing up. No spectators. Like we'd sold like 500 spectators. And then they all just showed up. Like because the weather was going to be good and they had heard about it through the grapevine. We were shaking the bushes and like telling all of our friends to tell all their friends. And it just kind of turned into an awesome event. Like the day before, we were hundreds of thousands of dollars upside down on the budget, and the day before, like I was so nervous, and then it just worked. Just a great event. And our live stream team afterwards, like the leader of the live stream team messaged us and was like, I've been to like every racetrack in the world. This dude's like actually, we've known him since 2000. He's been a buddy of Chris and I's forever. And he's like, I've been to like almost every racetrack in the world. And those are the nicest people I've ever met.
Mhm.
Everyone was nicer than the next person. Like, and the live stream team is, like sneaking around in bushes and like pulling cable through like fences and stuff. Like, they're trying to like just get it done. Like, they're not in the business of making the friends with anybody at the racetrack. Typically, they get yelled at by the landscapers.
For sure.
Uh, but like they're the best people. The track is so pretty, and like even year one, like the field like inside was like pretty full. Year two, it was like 20% bigger. Year three, it was like 40% bigger. And this year, it's like I think we're almost out of camp spots, and we like added 50 more than Lime Rock wanted us to add because we based our campsites on aerial like drone footage. So we were
Mhm.
like,
Right.
Where's everybody else? Where can we put these more people? Like, there's more people. How about right here? It's not too sloped. We can do it there. Yeah. Um, and they're like, it's just a great place, and it's a great place to spend a couple of days. Like a
It is.
super place.
It
Like,
is. We didn't know we were going to be able to go until too late. We usually plan on an RV there so we could stay, but we'll stay at one of the hotels that are like a bajillion miles away. But that's okay.
just drive home at night, right?
It's 5 hours from here, so no.
Where is what is
Lime Rock?
Well, it's
Lime
just
Rock's 5 hours?
It's pretty close.
I didn't think
It's at
it's
least
five
4.
hours.
It's at least 4. It's fun.
Yeah.
an Airbnb in like a 1700s house, like
Yeah,
2 away.
pretty much. We'll get one of the new houses, the 1700s.
Yeah, we were there at the 1700s house. It's like the hotel.
It's like the oldest baller houses you've ever seen. Are 10-mile proximity of Lime Rock.
Yeah, and
It's
still
it's not a bad place.
not
No, it, it's like where the people escape from like the cities, Boston and New
Mhm.
York, and they're just like, I just need to get out of here, but I also need to build the craziest house you've ever seen.
the
That's
crazy houses you didn't go see yet. There's some nutty houses out there, so it's ridiculous.
I've driven to it from like 3 different directions because I drove to it with a pickup truck, I drove to it with a rental car, I drove to it with a giant RV, like 3 different years.
Yep.
Chose different paths so
Mhm.
I could not take that bridge I wouldn't fit on and stuff like that with the
Yep.
RV. And
And
so I did,
no parkways for you.
yeah, no, we did do the parkway with a trailer one time and didn't get in trouble, but we probably should have. But it's yeah, there's some cool old houses, and like some of them are falling apart, and some you can tell are just like the most loved building you've ever seen. People just
Yeah.
take over. It's such a cool, unique area. We don't have anything like that near Chicago.
No, it's one of those places where you swear you're lost because there's no way there could be a racetrack, and then boom, there's a racetrack.
Suddenly
Mhm.
one right turn, and then there's one sign. And you're like, it's got to be like right here, right? And 50 feet in front of you is the guardhouse.
Yep. And
Yeah.
you know,
And also like just any part of that track, you like spin in a circle, walk 50 feet, you can see the next turn, or like you can go get a great meal at any of the snack shacks, or there's like
Mhm.
this whole new pavilion now that's like at the top of the hill. There's like they keep putting money and work into it just to make it a better spectator experience. They extended the pit lane for the NASCAR truck race this year.
Yep.
It's
They
I'm
redid the autocross and the skid pad.
Yeah, a bunch of years ago they did that, so it's like a usable facility like almost all year long.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I'm pretty excited to go back. Every year like I get nervous about it every event. Like I start to lose sleep like tonight. I'll start to lose sleep about this event. But it's some events you like kind of dread going because you don't know what you're going to get. Especially
Mhm.
first year at like a pro track or something that you've never been to. There's always a lot of like, what's this energy going to be like? You don't totally know the people you're going to work with, especially in like race control and race safety and like we're getting pretty good at forming these relationships. I used to not be good at it.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I used to feel like I was terrible at it because they were like, who are these idiots? And now the track at least has some respect because they've seen who we are. So like we can meld and mesh better. But I get so much angst about it. I get no angst about Lime Rock. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I start driving to Lime Rock every year, at least after the first year, the last 2 years, I start driving to Lime Rock and I just kind of get excited to get to Lime Rock because it's a special place.
Yep. And we know some pizza places you need to stop on the way, so just let us know.
Nick Barbados,
Yummy.
best pizza place in the world. I'm hoping we can make that happen this weekend.
We can make that happen. We can bring up a ton of pies. Don't worry about that. So Would you say Lime Rock's the anti Mid Ohio?
Yes. They're both great racetracks. Uh,
Not the track. I'm not talking about the track. I'm just like,
all amazing pieces of asphalt. I don't want to like throw shade publicly at
Hmm.
any racetracks, but there is one racetrack that was referenced pretty recently by Bill that is really hard to work with.
Really?
yeah,
Hard to
way,
work.
way
Always
hard.
a staff, and there's always different security, and like you never know what you're gonna get. Awesome piece of racetrack though. Like the pavement itself is amazing.
Hmm.
They got some fun for them. Lots of parking space too. I got no qualms with that. But we've
Especially when you don't let anybody in.
that's true. We've tried a lot of different versions of events at that racetrack. They're all great on racetrack on the track themselves. But it's difficult. Like I mean, in their defense, they have to be a little bit protective of their IndyCar event because it keeps the place open, and that's almost always the next weekend after us. So they don't even want to deal with us. Um, and like everybody's already tired because they're prepping and blah blah blah. So we're probably getting the worst version of that racetrack staff because they're like they don't even want to think about us. In their defense. So, but it's a great piece of asphalt. One of my favorite tracks to drive, actually. It's that was the first place I did sprint racing. I did my first SCCA weekend there.
Oh, I
Wow.
love the track. It's just, even for non-grid life events, I've seen areas that could be improved. We'll go with
Yeah.
that.
I mean, there's definitely some splinters.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but fun place. I have not been back since the repave, so I still don't know if it's still God's gift to ice in the rain. So we'll see.
Oh, it's not pretty good in the rain now, supposedly. I haven't driven it in the rain. I drove it in the safety car in the rain last year, but
Hmm.
I was not at our event this year. I was doing it was my only event off. My wife and our daughter and myself were in a rental Toyota minivan driving to and from Yellowstone and Grand Tetons and
Wow.
Badlands. So we did a crazy family trip, which is fun.
That's a really good trip.
On the way home, I got hit in the face with a really long Facebook crab thread about grid life. So
Ah, yes, yes,
For
I've.
what? What happened?
just a driver venting at us about how unperfect we were and how we could be better, and a lot of good points. So yeah,
And
the
it got
internet,
like hundreds of replies.
yeah, the
Oh,
internet punched me in the nose, and they were right about a lot of stuff. Sure.
Hmm. Adam, did you ever say you were going to run the perfect thing and do it perfectly?
If I did, it wasn't recorded.
Yes. Yeah. That's like we have this thing. We have a few places we go for HPDEs, and the driver debriefs, instead of being like, how do you do turn six, or what are you guys doing, or discussing anything about anything that would help you, they turn into bitch points about point buys.
Yeah.
oh,
So I often just raise my hand and say, listen, everybody here who came and said, my goal today is to get in somebody's way and make them go slow and slow them down and not let them buy, just please raise your hand.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a lot.
Not a lot of hands go up, buddy.
It's shocking. I,
That's not the goal.
So I mean, I'm sure some of your listeners were in that thread or saw it or whatever. It was in I think it was on our Trek Battle page, and it like spooled for like 12 or 20 hours or whatever. But it was like the thing that was really evident, which was humbling and like I'm thankful for it, was that you could see a lot of these people, and many of them like had driven with us or drive with us once in a while, but they see this series as this thing that is like a part of them, and like it's their identity in some sort, or it's like this thing they really want to be awesome, and they like it was kind of like the airing of the grievances on Seinfeld, like we had the
Hmm.
felt, and which was I mean probably long overdue. um but so many of them also like reached out privately and like, hey, yeah, I might have sounded like a crab, I'm sorry. We're talking like 100 people reached out privately to me and to many of our staff, and they're like, I just I'm really annoyed at this one thing, and it's like the ticketing, or like the
Licenses or whatever.
right.
driver emails always go to my spam, or these like dumb little things that are really hard and things that I never thought I would even have to ever deal with 10 years ago. But it's also like we got a lot of positivity of like, yeah, that thread did have a bit of a negative turn. I'm sorry, that stinks. But we just want it to be the best thing ever, and like want it to be the best all the time, all the time. And like, so do we. So we have nothing but similarities with a lot of these people, and they definitely had some points. Our ticketing system is always in development and never perfect,
No.
and so it's everything's a work in progress, and the more we like it's almost like the more problems you get done, it like the minutia problems you've been like putting aside, and they like have gathered always. There's like, I fixed one big thing, and now we have 14 little things, and they're all just as hard.
Yeah. I mean, if you
And
if
then
you
and then you don't address them right away. So they, like you said, they just build up.
Yes,
And they're like mood problems.
they go from pimples to boils because we didn't pop them fast enough.
That's right. That's right. I feel that. I do.
I
I
mean,
just don't feel like doing that today.
I really want to pop that pimple. I have to go do something else, and all of a sudden my face is infected.
but you had 300 or 400 people who care about the events enough to write that.
There was only two people in there. Like, I'm not going to go back to that. Yeah, I'm sorry that it wasn't perfect. We're trying really hard. Trying really hard. We're trying really hard to make like time of attack matter and amateur racing like matter to people that have never been to the racetrack. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not an easy task. It's probably a stupid task. We probably should quit and just go get jobs.
I mean, that's the other thing is, hey, if you're not feeling it, you don't have to come.
No, yeah, this is not mandatory.
No, no.
But also, I'm happy that that like I know people's thoughts. Like a lot of those people, I talk to like a lot of those people on a regular basis, and like they never tell you those thoughts unless they like get into a mob mentality once every 10 years on the internet. And I'm glad that now I know, like, oh, yeah, that does suck. I guess
Yeah.
we'll elevate that on the triage list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to pick one thing that's wrong instead of the 100 things you do right.
Well, I mean, not even to like toot any kind of horn or anything, but like it's you do try to like fix as many problems as you can. But often, like one fix, like say our insurance, in order to have really good insurance that has like supplemental medical in case of a driver's insurance won't cover it and all this stuff, like we had to institute a license. We just had to do it.
It wasn't
And
my
also,
choice.
to have a license, we have to vet all the drivers even heavier than we were vetting the drivers in wheel to wheel. Like I had email and phone call interchanges with all the drivers that like I didn't know. Like it's
Mhm.
always a vetted thing, but like on a spreadsheet, not. And GLTC drivers have had license numbers forever, but now we had to officialize the process in order to like maintain in a ever changing insurance world, and like to bring the staff in to do this. Even it does have to have a fee, because between John and I and Kyle printing and Hunter printing and the merch team printing licenses and mailing things, like there's probably 900 man hours into licenses. Like this isn't a profit center. So
That's not where you got your third house, right?
no, I don't have a third house actually.
Just still working on the second house, I'm sure.
I do. One of them is a 1991 RV I bought for $8,500, and I drive it to events.
Yep. Yep. I know. It's just it's no different than the racing people themselves. You want to make a small fortune, you start with a big fortune. If you want to run a racing series, you start with a big fortune and end up with a small fortune. It's the same thing. You're not swimming.
That first part that would have been smarter to start with that big fortune.
Yeah, we just got to do that first part. That's the hard part. Yep.
I still run like a 2 and 3 man construction company in my like as a side hustle, $2,900. So,
Yep.
luckily, I can't get fired from either one, and I can do one of them from earbuds in my cell phone. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I can't count the number of times we've talked on the phone and you were on a ladder hitting something with a hammer.
Sometimes I've done so many podcasts from a cell phone and Bose earbuds while I was on scaffolding, or it happens. But
For sure.
yeah, I got no complaints about like the memories though of the last 10 years. I got no complaints. I got
No.
better I got better memories than most people. Most people's memories consist of like, oh, getting off of work. Sure is nice to be done with work. Get to
Go
watch.
home, have a beer, watch some television.
I mean, you don't have to worry. You don't never get off of work. Our work just keeps rolling along.
And as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna message the team and see if they got proof edits on this thing I just typed up and blah
There
blah.
you go.
So,
Just think about all the stories you're gonna have when you're like retired.
I hope somebody cares. I hope somebody wants to listen.
Well,
La-
we
even
we care and we listen.
You're gonna be Poppy in the corner.
Even though you don't do podcasts anymore.
oh, come on. We'll get we
What, are you gonna guilt him?
No, just making fun.
even last night though, like I was telling my wife, we went out. My daughter was going out for dinner with my wife's parents. They live across the street, and they were going to go to a fish fry. And so Sarah was like, "Hey, you want to go on a date?" And let's like that's not a thing we do very often. Probably should do that more often. But and I spent probably 10 minutes like just telling her the BS I've gone through, like trying to determine legality on a car from 2 weeks ago. We're talking like remoting into ECUs and like sending out TCM files to things and like it was a whole thing. But at least I mean it was nice to have somebody like listen while I vented. I probably should podcast more so I can vent more because I think I'm holding too much of this in.
It's very therapeutic.
You guys, you need to send me your info so my insurance can back pay. So
That's fine. We'll have the sofa delivered so you can just lean back next time for the next episode.
I'm sitting on like a chair that's not very comfortable. I should have done this from the couch right across the living room.
It's okay.
I still can't believe I figured out how to make my podcast board work with Zoom. I haven't ever. I think most of the podcasts I've done with you have sounded terrible because I've been on my cell phone.
No, you've done great.
Proud of myself. I'm proud of myself.
There you go. Look at that. You know, you finally got to quit one of your jobs and become your IT director.
Only took 9 years of podcasting before I figured out how to use the board.
That's
I
fine.
I have the backup board. We have a better board, and this is the old one that sometimes the power button doesn't work. So, yeah, I think I spilled pop on this, or like I spilled a LaCroix on this while we were podcasting with Greg Kramer at the first CMP. This is the one that I have, and now it dried out and it works fine. So,
It'll work until it doesn't.
yeah, whatever. And hopefully it will break in between recordings.
For sure. Well, Adam, we will see you next week. We don't know if we'll be able to talk with you because if anybody's been to a GridLife event, the amount of free time that Adam has to talk about nothing is very, very sparse. So
When I saw you in person, I was sitting like I think it was last time. I was sitting on a golf cart and I was sending a text to everybody.
Yep.
And I was just about to jump over the rail to split the GLTC race, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And you handed me a challenge coin. I was like, "Oh, hey, Bill, good to see you."
It was either handed to you or throw it at you. That was the only chance I had, sir.
Yeah. And speaking of work, my co-founder partner Chris is calling me right now. So
All right. Well, go talk to Chris, and we will catch you later, sir. We'll see you next weekend.
I don't want to talk to him for 3 hours tonight.
All right. So the podcast part 2 continues now.
There you go.
Will this come out before Landmark?
It's coming out tomorrow, sir.
Man, that's perfect. I appreciate the plug. If anybody wants to check out the Limerock Circuit Legends event, there's the Circuit Legends Instagram and the GridLife official Instagram. They both have links to everything, or just grid.life is our main website. So
Yep. And I highly recommend the merch store. I highly recommend getting a small loan because I usually actually your staff has told me to stop buying stuff because you said that Bill cannot have everything 5 of them, but it's okay.
it makes our stupid business go round. It pays some rent and some salaries. So we gotta have the t-shirts. And Chris does a good job along with the rest of the merch team. So I think that might be last year that might have been the only business model that worked inside the company was selling we're a t-shirt company with a racing problem.
It's like Red Bull.
That's good.
They're a fizzy drink company with a racing team.
There you go. We all got problems. One of them might be hosting. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thank you, sir. We will see you on the weekend.
Sounds good. Shoot me a text. Let me know if I can help you.
We'll do.
Sounds great.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
How do I hang up a Zoom call? I can't even tell.
You can't hang up a Zoom call because I'm not going to tell you. Do you have any kind of logo you want me to use to promote this one?
Probably just whatever you see that looks good on the GridLife page.
Okay. I'll grab the Lime Rock square that you guys use.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
All right, cool. Go have fun. Go talk to Chris. Thank you, Adam.
All
All
right.
right. Bye.
All right. Oh, there's a leave button. Now I see it.
I can kick you out. Don't worry.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, how are you?
Good.
How was your day?
Welcome to the Late to Chess podcast.
Late to chess?
That's right.
Late to chess.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm glad that you asked how I got into
The Late to Chess podcast. I really think you might have to grab Anne Marie.